What's going on, family? It's your guy, Bora, the Lucky Libra man. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. All right, as you can see by the title, we're picking up the signs through the houses series with who? Scorpio up in that 8th house. And this is where Scorpio loves to be. This is home for Scorpio, all right? So we going to cleanse up a little bit. We going to, get the atmosphere settled for this one. Okay. All right, guys. So y'all already know the vibes, man. Before we get into it, family, I'd appreciate it if you like the video so we could circulate these gems. All right, continue to build the community up. All right, give y'all a little second. All right. That's why I fucks with y'all. That's why I know we like this, family. We like this. All right, I can depend on y'all for that. I appreciate the love, the support. Let's make sure we share, subscribe. You feel me? Tap into my website if you like to connect with the Lucky Libra. Tap into my Patreon if you like to dive deeper. Let's get right into it. Scorpio in the 8th house. Shout out to all my Aries risings in the building. All right. You might be a Pisces rising. You might be a Taurus rising. But if you got Scorpio on that 8th house cusp, this is for you. All right. Now, what is the 8th house? The 8th house rules transformation, rebirths in our life, things that it influence us to initiate change and transformation, or what we may experience externally, that cause transformation in our life. We're dealing with the resources of others. So that's the, shared values, the resources your partner has, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, husband, or, associate or whatnot. We're dealing with, your passions. We're dealing with your motives, with your deep desires. We're dealing with sexual influences in the 8th house. We're dealing with emotions that are buried. All right. So when we get into the 8th house, we're diving deep into, traumas, wounds, things that we're going to have to do shadow work on. So we're dealing with our shadow in the 8th house. All right. And then this is also a very, spiritually inclined house dealing with the occult, the esoteric, hidden knowledge and wisdom. All right. So we throw Scorpio in here, Aries rising. All right, we got Scorpio here. So this is what I need y'all to understand because, I see people, when I do videos for Libra risings, a lot of the comments, they're just dreading the alignment. Like, is there anything good about this placement? But then when you look at the opposite of that ascendant, Aries ascendant, Aries got all the signs in the houses that they're home in. Does that mean their life is just a walk in the park? No. So we all have our different gifts, powers, challenges, karmic duties, and responsibilities, regardless of the placement. All right? Ain't nobody's excluded from the trials and tribulations and the different paths and the ups and downs that consist in life. All right? So we all have to understand there ain't no placement that you got that's just, that you're just a victim. There's even some astrologers that say this is a very bad chart. There's examples of bad charts, negative charts. I don't even believe in that. It's the Lucky Libra. I believe in polarity. I believe in the light and dark side of everything. I believe there's a power in everything. All right. So when we put Scorpio here, fixed water, ruled by Mars, co-ruled by Pluto, okay? You got to understand something about this right here. Aries rising, even though I just said what I said, that is a powerful placement to have, just being an Aries rising. You're going to manifest a lot of situations in your life where you have to lead, be the first reference. You got to be the pioneer. You got to learn how to dictate things on your own, So with great power come great responsibility. And when we get into the 8th house, these people deal with intense motherfucking situations in their life. Point blank, period. Scorpio in the 8th house, you're going to deal with the intensity of what that 8th house really embodies with Scorpio here. So a lot of these individuals have to grow up quick. They have to mature quick. Once again, a lot of Aries risings are the first sibling in a family. Manifest leadership positions early. And with Scorpio in the 8th house, the negative of the most negative shit y'all could think about with the 8th house, they live that shit. So different forms of transformation, abuse in different ways. All right, all different intense forms of abuse you can think about, a lot of them have experienced this, okay? Manipulation, hidden agendas, secrets, abandonment, all right? These are all things. These are all influences that these guys go through. You know, death early in their family, getting used to dealing with deaths in their family or in their life, or relationships transforming out of nowhere unexpectedly. Yes, these guys deal with that shit. Okay? So as we go through this series, I break down how the constellation brings its themes into the 8th house to influence transformation. But when you got Scorpio here, you know, it just gets to the meats and potatoes of things. It's constant rebirths in your life. It's constant things changing. You know, it's constant things penetrating the depth of your emotion. Now, what happens here? You know, with Scorpio in the 8th house, you have to understand, with great power comes great responsibility. You don't experience all this deep transformative energy early in life with you not being capable of understanding how to transmute this. All right? Remember, Scorpio is dealing with regeneration and rebirth itself. So yes, you're going to experience the epitome of what 8th house loss and transformation look like. But because you have Scorpio here, because you have influences of Mars and Pluto here, you have to understand you have the power to be an example of what transmutation looks like. And deep down in your intuition, y'all know in some type of shape or form, you're being placed in a position to be an example to deal with transformation, transmutation, to take things that impacted your emotional well-being and rise energies into more positive state, positive space, you know, to develop a positive approach towards your goals, your aspirations, despite what you may have persevered and experienced. Persevered is a word for Aries risings. That word right there, persevere. All right. And the thing about it, a lot of y'all not gonna know. Y'all not gonna know what the fuck the Aries rising done experience, because it's Scorpio here. So a lot of that shit gonna stay hidden. It's not gonna be expressive and open about what's going on in the 8th house. Okay? It's not gonna be so expressive about what's going on in the 8th house. They figuring that shit out. You gotta understand, the Aries, most likely Aries is on the ascendant. Aries ain't the one to... Aries actually need to learn to ask for help at times. So, and I missed this. This house is ruled by Mars. So you need to know what house Mars is in. That's going to be the house where you're going to experience a lot of transformation. You're going to be influenced to deal with rebirths and evolve in that house, right? You're going to deal with having to shed old energies, shed old skin, right? Pinpoint what's expired. And the more you embrace the transformation in that house is going to help bring solutions to how you release, you know, how you bring resolve to your traumas, to your wounds. But look, Scorpio in this house, because most likely Aries is the ascendant, that makes Mars your chart ruler, with Aries being on the ascendant. So this is a very significant house in your chart, even planets in there or not, you know. So all Aries ascendants have to learn how to embody what perseverance really means, what transmutation really means. So they're hit with heavy things. They have to learn to mature quick. They could experience the worst of the worst when it comes to abuse. And they're going to experience influences in their life that, you know, call them to understand with great power come great responsibility. You have the character, you have the psychological build to be able to take these type of hits, these impacts, right? Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, acknowledge it. Acknowledge how it's influenced you. Acknowledge how it's influencing your shadow. You know, these people are very aware of their shadow. These people are fearless and intense attacking shadow work. So this is another reason why they're not going to be so open and expressive about things dealing with their traumas and wounds, because they're taking 9 out of 10 times they're taking the duty and the responsibility to embrace that shit and transform that shit themselves. It's almost like, what can you really help me with? What are you really gonna tell me? Have you experienced the abuse I experienced? Have you experienced the transformation I experienced? Have you experienced the loss I experienced? So like, if you ain't experienced all of this shit, well, how can you really help me? Like, at this point, I live a real nigga life, so it ain't no. I want to hear cliche shit. They don't be want to hear cliche shit. Oh, it's all gonna be good. It's all yeah. You ain't experienced real loss before. No bullshit. No bullshit. This is heartfelt shit right here. You know? But the key here is to you can't get lost in that darkness. You can't stay. You can sink into your emotions here. Scorpio, everything is deep and dark with Scorpio, and it's in the 8th house. So everything is intensified. Everything is double trouble here with this alignment. You know, the potential for power is enormous, but the potential to sink into your emotion, into the darkness, you know, into the abyss, that's a strong potential too. So a lot of the times extreme energies can play out here where these people, they may latch on to things, get attached to things that play out as, you know, a negative escape mechanism to not deal with some of the 8th house shit going on here. Or they're just head on and intense tackling these things. Sooner or later, eventually, they're all going to be influenced to deal with some type of shadow work. It's almost like you can't run from it, especially like this being a chart ruler type of house. You know, you only can neglect these things for so long if you have energies that make you kind of neglect this house, you know. So, yeah, man, they're going to be pretty fearless and intense attacking these things. But they have powerful transformative influences and gifts. When they acknowledge what their emotional issues is, when they acknowledge that they're capable of taking previous situations that impacted them to, you know, filter it to something positive. Once they acknowledge that, they just have to acknowledge that they're capable of healing. It just starts there. That's it. That's it. Once they acknowledge that to themselves, that's when they start getting busy. This is when they start unlocking their powers. You know, these type of people, when you date them, you got to be able to transform and change with them. You got to be able to transform and change with them, because they're not going to, when they deal with their healing, when they deal with their, you know, their intense ways of understanding their shadow, their subconscious, especially diving into the occult spirituality, you know, their partners got to be able to do some shadow work with them, you know, got to be able to acknowledge their own shadow. They're not going to, these individuals don't really like dealing with mundane thinkers, you know, surface level thinkers. They like dealing with people with depth, because when you go through so much, you got to be able to relate with people that, you know, you're not going to relate with people that play victim a lot. You're not going to relate with people that, you know, don't embrace their faults, don't embrace the woes and ups and downs in life. It's like, come on, man, I can't be around this energy. I need real energy around me. Like, I need real deep energy, you know? So they can have very transformative influences on people they connect with, especially, you know, once again, the people that they're dating with on an intimate level, you know, when it now this is the thing, okay, since we're talking about, you know, who they connect with intimately, you know, people would assume, because it's all this Mars energy, Aries ascendant, Mars chart ruler, Scorpio in this house, you probably guys are assuming when it comes to their sexual natures that they're all that, you know, the strong sexual nature, they're probably, you know, beast in the bed, they're this, that, and the third. It doesn't necessarily play out like that here. It doesn't necessarily play out like that here, because the things they may have, a lot of these individuals have had, you know, this is another alignment where their innocence may have been taken away a bit at a young age. You know, like I said, from molestation, abuse in different type of ways. If they experience that, yeah, it could develop into habits where they overindulge into their sexual nature through a real subconscious rooted issue. But then a lot of the times it also plays out where they can't dive into that shit without a true, genuine, deep, intimate connection. A lot of these people, sometimes they ghost motherfuckers when they have sex the first time or they intimately connect the first time, because it was just like, damn, it didn't have that depth I thought it would. Maybe I was forcing it, you know. They need to feel that deep, intimate, passionate, heartfelt type of connection. It's almost like they're gonna play out extremes. Everything with Mars energy, Scorpio energy is extreme. So when they're sexually connecting, yes, they may. Yeah, I'm not saying they can't have a strong sexual nature. It's still Scorpio here, but it's almost like sometimes they could be either dominant or powerless when it comes to sexually, expressing themselves. Almost too controlling and dominant, or powerless and submissive sexually. And once they build a rapport with somebody for real, it helps them to find that medium with their sexual energy. Not leaning on too much on either one of them sides. So certain experiences could put them in a space where it's just like, I think the proper thing is just to be as submissive as possible. Let them dominate me. Let them, conquer me in a way, right? Or they feel like they need to initiate it. Because Scorpio's here, so when it comes into things connecting with others, a lot of times they can't develop possessive energies and controlling energies, or they'll also manifest people with strong sexual natures and controlling possessive people in their life too. Overall, not just including intimate people. Like I said, they grow up quick. They're dealing with real nigga shit at a young age. A lot of these people have to mature quick. They're forced to mature quick, right? So, that's kind of like the extremes with the sexual nature there. All right? It's already a vulnerable thing connecting the emotions here with Scorpio, Now, they can make for very loyal ass partners. Once they build this connection, they can make for very loyal ass partners, because they're most likely gonna cherish the fact that they even was able to build a genuine connection with somebody, especially if they really went through the trials and tribulations with relationships, hidden agendas, secrets, manipulation, abandonment, and whatnot. When they find something for real, they'll cherish the fuck out of it. They'll ride out for this person, damn near become real selfless and sacrificial here. Or even become controlling over the situation, because they don't want it to bounce. And this could be subconscious. So they may not realize, that they're being extra controlling, but it's almost like, my bad, like, I'm just real passionate about this shit. Like, I really value this relationship. I never felt this connection is genuine. Sorry if I'm, Mars play out a little controlling, possessive, but it could really be out of positive intention at times, in their head, them just trying to do what they can to make sure, something that's genuine or whatnot, somebody that they can emotionally exchange with, decompress with, that energy stays there. Like, these people are not gonna pull out all their sexual tricks on the first time getting intimate. They gotta feel shit out. They gotta read energy. They gotta build the rapport, and then then they could start opening up here. All right. Once again, their shadow may deal with a lot of their negative shadow may deal with them becoming possessive and controlling. What have I been saying this whole series? Based off of what we experience in this house, externally, we can start to inhibit these traits. This is just like any house. This is not the planets in the houses series. That's different. We're talking about the signs through the houses series. So we're experiencing these energies, and they could develop into traits. So I need my Scorpios in the 8th house to make sure, all right? I need y'all to make sure you allow yourself to ignite. You look in the mirror and understand, talk to yourself, reiterate to yourself, emphasize to yourself that you are capable of healing. It's in your hands. You have the power to do that. Once you do that, that's the key. That's the key. In your darkest moments, you have to remind yourself that. Because the power you have to change and shift shit, man, you guys manifest into a lot of, some crazy healers, powerful spiritualists, powerful occultists, powerful teachers, can be powerful in the counseling realm, whether you're a therapist, psychiatrist. Powerful energies, but obviously you need to go through certain experiences, right? And you need to grow through certain experiences, you know, to unlock these properties to yourself that are naturally innate in you, okay? So you're capable. You went through the things you went through, the transformation you went through, because it was building something up in you. All right, I need y'all to understand that. Okay? You know, when it comes to finances, investments, once again, shared values. These people may have there may be a strong, you know, a strong power struggle or just strong passion to develop financial freedom here. When they deal with any investments or joint investments with a partner or whatnot, can be a little controlling here, a little possessive here. And you got to make sure that, you know, you're not dealing with them, you're not experiencing them energies on your end. Okay. But there can be a lot of power and control issues. Like, this is the reality. There can be a lot of power and control issues when you have your money invested with others. So if you know you have this alignment, Scorpio, in this house, you need to make sure you trust. You need to make sure you 110%, you don't half-ass going into situations with your money joint with others, and you don't half-ass this, Scorpio, in the 8th house. You need to 200% trust this motherfucker, trust this company, trust this accountant, or learn how to take control of these things yourself. Manage your finances, your taxes yourself. You're going to have to learn how to do taxes. No bullshit. All right? For real. So you can prevent some extra bullshit here. You know? Have to have a lot of discernment when it comes to that. And then people will think these people, like, they got Scorpio in the 8th house, strong Mars and Pluto energy throughout the chart, Aries ascendant. They're going to have a strong-ass sexual magnetism to them. Even if they're inexperienced. Even if they've been through abusive situations sexually, and they still deal with a vulnerability intimately connecting, they're still going to carry this aura, damn near a seductive aura. So, people be thinking that, you know, just because they got that energy, that aura, that is just gonna express itself in a way that in a sexual, free, liberated way. Nah, it don't work like that. It don't work like that all the time. You have to understand what these people have experienced and what they're working through subconsciously. You know, that is a huge misconception here, that people think just because Scorpio's here, they're all freaky deaky, and it might be the complete opposite. They might be real vulnerable, dealing with intimately connecting. And they have to build such a rapport with you to connect and let you in. You know? And eventually, with the shit that they experience in their life, they're going to learn to read between the lines. They're going to learn to read people's intentions, read the lack of transparency and honesty in a person. So they damn near gonna laugh at people. Once they start getting older and they go through certain experiences, it's like they'll laugh at people trying to manipulate them. They'll laugh at people trying to game them. You know, it gets to a point you can't bullshit these people, because the L's they take to get to build this discernment, this sturdiness, they're serious. So they start not to overlook these things. All right? Yes. That's what we got going on here. I just need y'all to understand, the darkness cannot consume you guys. You know, you have the power, the strength to acknowledge darkness. A lot of times you guys may play out examples to tell other people, like, hey, a lot of y'all subconsciously tell others, you're going through this for a reason. Don't worry, it's making you stronger, it's making you better. We kind of need y'all to do that. Listen, guys. With strong Scorpio placements, with strong 8th house placements, We need somebody in the realm. We need somebody in this earth plane to understand, to help us understand what perseverance is. Life is not sweet. Life is not all sweet and peachy all the time. So this is what Scorpio energy does for us. This is what this rebirth energy does for us. This is what that rising to a phoenix energy does for us. A lot of these people play out as examples to help us understand that we gotta persevere. We gotta work through traumas. We gotta work through wounds. It only is gonna make us better. We experience these things for a reason. We sign contracts to experience these things. All right. So keep that fearlessness, because a lot of you guys are fearless acknowledging that shadow. All right, that's the energy you want to carry here. You know, embracing all the hits, embracing transformation, embracing the unexpected changes. You know, embracing the times you thought you knew somebody and you know you took certain things for granted, and you had to remind yourself, like, okay, all right, I learned my lesson. Damn, I shouldn't have had to learn that lesson again, but okay, I learned it. Boom, I know better. Boom, boom, I'm stronger. Like, you got to be able to move like that with that shit here. You feel me? These people become very resilient. The life of an Aries ascendant. You think because Aries got all these signs in the same places, once again, life is just peachy and sweet. Oh, hell no. Hell no. With great power come great responsibility. It goes into everything with life. That pretty much hits the nail on it, all right? You guys also got to be careful how hard you go, because you're going to have a lot of times strong pursuit for financial freedom, you know, to get your finances together, to get stable. So you got to be careful of the things that you're motivate. You got to be careful what type of passion and desire you're carrying behind these things to lead you to do certain things that could be transformative, instead of staying patient, investing in your gifts and talents, you know, or, you know, more of a way to earn, you know, stability instead of scheming and kind of, you know, end up in transformative situations. You got to understand that with these Scorpio, Pluto, Mars energies, you know, sometimes you can have the perfect plan to do. Like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say these people are really good with crime, but they're going to have a knack for the 8th house, all right? So these people know how to hide things well. They know how to hide things well, you know, especially with the emotions, of course, but they can have a real secretive, mysterious nature. They can. Very, very. You know, these people could experience some crazy shit in their life and date somebody for a while and still not tell their partner that they've experienced this, that, and the third for a while. I've been dating for a year and a half. Why you ain't tell me you experienced that before? You know? Shit like that. You know, it was almost like you got to force them to understand you can confide in me. Sometimes they'll have trust issues. Once again, there's vulnerable connecting emotions here. You got to prove yourself dealing with these people. You got to prove your transparency, your honesty dealing with these people, you know, a lot of the time. So they're going to continue to seek that deep rapport with somebody. They're going to continue to seek that. And the more stable and secure a relationship and connection feel over time, they start opening up, they start releasing, you know? But yep. Let's look at some celebrities. Rihanna, Heath Ledger, John Lennon. These some deep individuals. Heath Ledger, John Lennon, Cardi B, Jeff Bezos. Finances. They gonna get to the bag, Scorpio. If Scorpio is motivated, passionate about anything, they gonna get to this bag in the 8th house. You know? Al Capone. Once again, I ain't trying to encourage crime here, but hey, I ain't saying nothing, man. Morgan Freeman. All right, Amber Rose, Bill Cosby, Big Sean, Bill Cosby, Big Sean, Chris Rock. All right, so powerful placement. This is very powerful placement. You know, it gets deeper than rap. But it ain't no joke. It's reality, okay? And I just want these people to understand how powerful they truly are. You know, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers, right? Y'all believe that, right? All right. All right. All right then. Okay. All right. So shout out to all my Aries risings, possibly Taurus, Pisces risings in the building. Ultimately, everybody with Scorpio in that 8th house. All right. Make sure to tap in to my website if you'd like to connect with the Lucky Lever. Tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper. All right, let's make sure we leave a like, family, so we can continue to build the community up. I appreciate the love and support that y'all are consistently showing the kid. All right, until next time, family, we're going to pick up this series with Sagittarius in the 8th house. Until next time, family, peace.